Call for meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Kinsey,
Here.
Mossberg,
Here.
Barker,
Here.
Logston.
Here. We have quorum. We've gone to item 3, approval of minutes of the regular meeting held January 13th, 2025, and special meeting held January 22nd, 2025.
I'm missing the minutes from the special meeting.
They were in the packet. It was just one page.
You need my help?
You need some?
I just didn't see them. I'm going to approve the minutes.
Got a motion and a second. Let's call the roll, please.
Barker,
Yeah.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yep.
We'll go on to the next meeting.
Thanks.
Or the next agenda item, reports from staff, city council report.
We had filing for all of the city council seats, or the ones that were up, which was 4 wards. We have unopposed, it's going to be James Hoffman and Kenneth Ferris. They will take their seats in April. James is continuing on as the incumbent. Kenneth will be replacing Troy Brooks. In Ward 4, we have a race between Greg Bowman, who's currently on council, and Joey Melton. And then in Ward 2, we have a 3-person race between, and this was the seat that was vacant, a 3-person race between Ken and Cohen, Mark Nichols, and Sammy Kruckenberg. Election will be that first Tuesday in April. I don't have the date.
That is for sure.
April Fool's Day?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then Trent Goss was unopposed for the treasurer seat. So he'll remain in that spot. I just got an email today from the finance director for the city that the department budget meetings are set for the department heads and then management staff for March 10th, 11th, and 12th. So I figure we'll do like what we've done in the past and have one of the airport board members, myself, and then the staff there to participate in that. We did have just other, city council stuff. 2 council members and the city manager attend the annual Congress of Mayors with me last week. It was a good educational event. So I'm always glad to have extra people join on things like that. And I think it was a good deal. We have, they've been continuing to move forward with all of our projects that we got going on, and nothing incredible is coming to mind as being noteworthy, but happy to answer any questions if you guys have them.
I had a couple council members contact me if I was aware about a car lease that the city was considering for the airport. I told him I knew nothing about it. Would you mind?
So, okay, yeah, that is actually kind of a big deal. I just failed to remember it. But the city is looking at, we're in the process of negotiating with Enterprise Fleet Services for a contract on leasing vehicles. The airport somehow got turned in on, one of the airport vehicles got turned in on one of the reports from the vendor as being ready to replace. It was just part of their proposal in looking at the total age of all of our vehicles citywide. The plan the initial plan is not, unless the airport board wants it to, the initial plan is not going to include an airport vehicle. Because we've got other vehicles that are in much, greater need of replacement than the courtesy car. So that wasn't driven by staff; it was driven by Enterprise, but just putting a list together to have a starting point. So
I'll tell you right now that the Buick is listed in year 2 in our plan.
The green Buick,
Yeah.
year 2 of war.
Huh?
Like,
So
Yeah. It's a 5-year plan.
we're 5-year plan to get all of our vehicles on a fleet management plan. And it's actually, it's going to end up probably saving the city quite a bit, maintenance expenses and things like that. We'll have warranty in place for almost anything that could go wrong with any of those vehicles that are on lease. Maintenance is basically going to be oil changes, and then on some of our higher mileage stuff, it's going to be tire replacement, stuff like that. So we shouldn't have very much maintenance and expense moving forward. Plus, the way their lease program is set up for cities, everything's purchased on contract pricing, and we retain equity with whatever we pay in on those vehicles, a portion of the equity, and then just keep them on a rotation to where they're always in good shape. Where we save money on the maintenance and other expenses, we'll spend it in lease, and we shouldn't see much, if any, net change in our outlay as a city. We take the expenses we know we're going to save out of the equation, and then figure the lease back in. We're not buying anything outright these days anyway, just because of cash flow. So we're paying leases on most of the stuff we purchase anyway.
The airport cars, until the last 3 have been donated. The pickup was purchased as a work vehicle. The white car was purchased as a nicer courtesy car, and the van before that, courtesy cars at the airport have always been donated vehicles. Just
Yeah, I'd say
so
the vehicles will continue. If we get them donated, we're obviously not going to lease one, but
but I just didn't want to. I don't think everybody was aware of that or not, but they've always in the past been.
I knew we purchased a van.
Yeah, we purchased those, but previously we had a Lincoln Continental for a while, but they were all donated vehicles. Anything else for the mayor and city council? If not, we'll go on to the airport manager's report.
We have January ended up being pretty decent. Did raise the prices on both avgas and the Jet A to reflect a higher profit of 75 cents instead of 50. So we'll see how that goes. We had a net total of $37,689.75. For total minus the Hertz rental. So I guess I should have minus $832.75 off of that total. The hunters would come in and they'd want a rental truck, but we don't have any place that rents trucks, so I would go to Enid. And we'd rent a truck from Hertz, drive it down here, charge them mileage, and they would reimburse the Hertz and then pay for the mileage down there. It was 300 total miles we could count there and back each time at 75 cents, 70 cents or 75 cents a mile. Other than that, kind of had a dip on avgas sales, but there was also snow and other weather, so maintenance wise, Wise Electric was supposed to have been here last month, but due to the snow and other stuff, they didn't make it. They were going to come on when they were going to go to Woodward to save on travel fees. So they're scheduled to be here the week the 17th, so it's next week to look at the totals. There's DKS Construction supposed to be coming and doing maintenance on a couple of the doors and putting together a maintenance program for the hangars to go through and look at a few each year and get them on a schedule. I still haven't got any quotes on the terminal out here. I did get a hold of Rick Brown, but he's not made it here to get a quote to look at it. Other than that, everything's been kind of going smooth. We're still on track for the late February tank install. But that will be all for that report. But as of this morning, I turned in my resignation to Steve. My last day will be March 2nd. I have accepted another spot somewhere else that seems to be a good opportunity for me and my family. So my plan was to work this week, but I got scheduled a medical procedure Thursday, so I'll be out the rest of the week. Well, mine's tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. And then I will take my vacation days.
Did you happen to check on the warranty on the AWOLs?
I did not. I can do that. I was expecting them to call me on that present weather. They're supposed to call me back this week. I think it's 2 weeks after their inspection of everything. They were supposed to call me back to see what they found out on the present weather stuff.
Yeah, what about the speaker?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
Yeah, you know, the AWAS doesn't show up obviously on ForeFlight or any flight planning software, which is kind of a big deal because the nearest place we can get maybe a valid weather to estimate what's here is Enid, you know. So it's kind of a big deal. If guys are trying to fly plane in, they don't know what the current weather is.
Yeah, and the phone side of it doesn't work, so we can't phone in to find the weather.
Right.
I'd have to get with the friends to get them down here, figure out the phone lines.
So, you know, on the total fuel sales for January, were you able to figure out what the profit for February was?
There's a expense.
6833 is a rough estimate.
There's a Sadie put a fuel sales versus revenue spreadsheet in there.
And those numbers, that's just from buying the fuel and selling the fuel, correct? It doesn't take into fact credit card fees or truck maintenance or anything? It does?
That's what, yeah. Because when we get the credit from ASAP, when it runs the credit cards through everything.
So that's your net amount?
Yeah.
I took, this is a cost.
Here's, this
This
was
is what it's sold. So you multiply. Average. Times number of hours you get.
I called a meeting about it.
Yeah, okay.
Email.
Same
So I
right
get
here.
that, that you're saying?
Is here, you get this half hours. At gas. I did the same thing down here for each line item. Which was that, which was 60.
Well, thank you for your time here and the effort that you put in.
Yeah.
Good luck on your future endeavors.
I do appreciate the support and all the knowledge and training that I did receive. It's helped my personal growth and my leadership growth too.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for your board manager? And we'll go on to the next page. Page 2. Discussion and action to approve change verbiage in the airport agricultural land lease. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, I do.
No?
So those were based on the last meeting's discussion.
I assume it came from the city attorney, that word. So that's the one.
Yep. Is this the current one or is this?
So that's the old one.
Yeah,
That's the one before.
Right.
The amendment.
It was a blank one. No, right. So it's got some-
So we didn't end up coming out of that last meeting with any direction to include a fence setback any different than what the FAA already requires. And then, but in terms of cleaning up our language, I think it was just to clean up the language with regard to maintenance of the fence and then the noxious weeds.
So we keep the setback, BFA as established.
We did not change anything with the setback.
Except in the proposed lease, it is changed to say 200 yards. That needs to come back out.
What?
On 3B,
What's that? See, it's here's what the 3Bs are written like that. So it is out.
it is out. Okay. I wish I could. So you all got a copy. So I went out, took the NCRS wheel, which is a certified measuring wheel, and I went out and actually the diagram that you have that I provided is the within plus or minus. I could draw on the map. That's the exact fencing that's out there right now, and those are the exact measurements, plus or minus 5 feet. Let's say. So obviously on the north end, and the fence goes over to VFW, so there's no issue on the north end of the runway for landing on 1A, and the fence is set 555 feet back. And the grass from the center there is 273 feet. And then the fence makes a little jog around the windsock and the hexagon and goes over, and on the grass runway, it's exactly at the edge of the grass. is where the fence is. And that's 130 foot from edge to edge. Can't really tell the center line on the grass runway exact. So they've got 65 foot either side of the center line. I don't know, I don't have those measurements. And then the jog over there at the 563 down toward the south end, that's where that well and the tilting metal pipe square is that protects the well. That's anchored there. And then they came over to the runway. For some reason, they went down the ditch and up to the edge of the grass on the south end. So the ditch is part of where they fenced. And then off the very end of the runway is 408 feet.
Yeah, it's not where it's supposed to be.
So I'm saying that's just where the current fence
Right.
is.
FAA from the center of the runway, the main north-south runway is 400 foot.
So we need to get a hold of this DC and tell him from this corner over to here, he needs to bring that back to at least 400 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else looks like it's in plans, except I don't have any idea on the grass or what the...
It's 200, it's supposed to be 250 foot from grass, from outside edge of grass to outside edge of grass.
250 feet from the edge of the grass?
250 feet is the width here.
Yeah, it's only 130 feet. The grass itself, you're saying the fence needs to be from the center line over
That's where the
125 feet.
That's where the runway safety area is. We're just not allowing any obstacles inside of that. The strip itself is supposed to be 170 feet wide.
Yes, it's only 130 feet.
Okay, so that's probably been encroached on a little bit with the farmer as they plow and whatever. So we need to work on getting that.
So I guess then the question begs, do we get a hold of Mr. Thiesing? And I mean, I could volunteer to go out with him or whoever, and with the offsets and have him move this back. Now, one thing I did notice inside the fencing toward the airport side, there are no cattle prints, no cattle have been out. And I don't know why he went across the ditch there, because other than he wanted someplace for them to get a...
Is it electric fence or?
It's electric. It's standard, electric pole electric fence. Yeah, they don't even seem to get near it.
There was one cow out on the turf runway. Can't remember.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Jason had it, and it was on the turf runway, and then it ran along the south side of 36, and then on around. We called Tim home, and they came and put it back in. But, so there was one out at least.
So was it one of 10 or was it one of pellets?
It was brown.
Can I ask a question? So this fence we're talking about on the west side, around the grass strip and everything, is this part of the FAA proposed high fence deal, or is this just...
his cattle fence for his grazing.
And we have one hot wire
One hot wire.
keeping how many yearlings off the runway?
I don't know how many he has it there. It looks like
And we're going to put a
400.
fence up that restricts people coming to my business off the highway. And one little hot wire is going to keep 200 head of yearlings off the runway.
I think the fence is kind of off the discussion for a while, right?
I know, I'm just...
You can write arties about that.
I'll bring it up as new business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What we're talking about right now is changing the language in our lease agreements to say that the fence has to be substantial to keep back whatever livestock they have.
I'm not trying to say that he can't make $1 on this land. If he leases it, he can do whatever he wants, but I just don't want someone to prevent me from making my living with a fence off that road.
So
I understand.
I had a proposal for language that would not restrict us, but would always keep us within FAA regulations. And under paragraph 4, it says nothing herein contained should be construed as preventing leasee from enjoying the privilege of grazing wheat pasture. That's in the thing. And I was going to propose and make a motion, if you want to, that leasee must confer with the airport manager for proper offset prior to putting up any fencing. That way, he has to come in, get the diagram, go out, and then the airport manager will confirm that it was put up appropriately.
Not opposed to that language.
That's on which one, on 4?
That's 4. I just add a sentence to the end of number 4. But I don't know if I can make a motion because I'm not a board member yet.
No, not yet, you can't, but
Right.
you can make the, I mean, we'll take the recommendation. Can I read it? You got it in there?
Yes. Oh, no, I mean, I'm down about 8 hours of rabbit holes trying to find.
There's one out here too. That's a copy of the original when we changed the new admin. That's from 98. The plans implemented in
Is there any problem with any of the language that's in here for 3 and 6?
You mean your revised language?
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
all.
problem with it either.
Okay. I'm going to move to approve change verbiage in the airport ag land lease as stated in the agenda, item 5.1 and item 5.2, plus adding the statement at the end of number 4 in the lease. Lessee must confer with airport manager or proper offset prior to putting up any fencing.
Are you through? Second. I want to make sure he acted hesitant, so I wasn't sure if what was.
He's trying to read my
Did you get that down here if you don't?
No.
I remember that verbiage.
Yeah, you,
Can I?
the, okay.
I almost said it again.
you can make the adjectives and pronouns correct, something like that.
Okay. Any other comments on that item?
You
We
got a
have
motion and a
second, so let's take a roll. Whatever Heather gets through writing.
Parker,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Loxton,
Yes.
Mossberg.
Yes.
Go on to let's skip down a couple items here, and we'll go to 9, remarks and inquiries by citizens. Number 10. Anybody have anything?
Is this my time for new business?
It's your turn.
It's your time.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Dale. I talked to Grayson about this. The first time this was initiated, the fence. With this fence grant comes 3 other gifts of grants for this airport. I understand. It's coming. I get it. The business I purchased 20 years ago from the Roth brothers operated 18 years in that same location. So 38 years in that location.
Longer than that.
Well, Blocker and Strickland. So that's, I only know the Roths. I didn't know.
Understand.
So I know that's been a long-standing business. We have a lot of traffic, large trucks, semis. I just don't see our location and where we're at working with a gated fence. I drove around a lot today. You can set it back, but There's 2 hangars on the Strickland, the east side of the Strickland hangars. Bruce, you know, he can't get his planes out. You know, it's a problem. So I don't know what the solution is, but I just feel like a viable business that has been here for 38 that I am connected with, but longer, basically is I'm going to suffer from this. This business, my business now, after 20 years, is going to suffer from this fence. And
So you're
I
concerned,
don't think it's fair.
are you concerned about getting the trucks in to deliver
Our
chemical
customers,
or
our customers.
customers?
Yeah, because I would say 70% of our customers like to come in and talk to us,
Right.
draw on a map, talk it out, what are our options. We're a engaged company when it comes to our growers and our ranchers. And if we have to keep the gate open 24/7 for our customers to come visit us, and when things are busy, like I said, we may have 10 guys there at a time.
Say this is your hangar, this is your office area. Can we run a fence here and have the gate there and have your driveway,
Well, let's just look at the map. There's the map.
have your driveway open here outside the
It won't
fence?
be on that.
So the fence would
Right
go
here.
from your office? Yeah, the fence would come, oops, I'm sorry, come from here, out to here, and like that. And that way people can drive in and they can come in here and maybe change your parking to here and you can park in here too.
Yeah, we'd have
And then-
to, this is a waterway through there, we'd have to,
Put a culvert in it,
yeah, or something.
something. Yeah, we wanted
We
to,
didn't move our offices.
that would allow me to drive in 24/7.
Two kids, from the corner of the hangar, straight across. They get a two, it has this long wing, you know, so we're gonna have to do a lot. So, I mean, it's gonna cost me over $100,000 to accommodate this fence.
Well, the fence isn't there yet.
I know. All
And
I'm
we
saying,
wanna
I
do-
have looked at this and looked at this and looked at this.
And
Okay.
your
We want to
grant
do,
includes parking.
Huh?
The grant would include parking.
yeah, well, I mean, we've got to work this, we definitely
We're
don't want
talking
to
about my
affect our
livelihood.
business.
I understand, yeah.
And,
This group has not voted on a fence.
okay,
No.
well,
We have not, but we have not.
it's coming. Grace, I talked to him last
I
week.
understand.
It's coming.
He's a persistent little person.
Well,
Right.
I know how things work, especially when it's funds for little municipal airports. And I hate to say little, but if you can get every dollar from the government, you need to take advantage of it. Okay?
And Toby,
Yeah.
our engineer, in one of our meetings, admitted openly, he acknowledged your situation, because he said here at the meeting.
It's way too close to the road,
And he-
and the one next.
And he heard what you
that
said.
road,
He said it's going to be a challenge to work it in, but he wants to accommodate you to where the fence is not an issue for you. Now, I don't know what that would look like.
Well, so I'm brainstorming. Maybe I can build something on the south side, gift that hangar, you know, for more airplanes for the city, and just get away from everything to where the fence could come into each side of the building, pull up or whatnot. I don't know.
But I
That's-
was, at the point that we ever,
Way down there.
at any point we were to ever have to consider a fence, I don't see us voting on it as a board before we received additional input, probably 2 or 3 times, and the engineer trying to accommodate.
And I will sit down with them. I have looked at it 10 ways from Sunday. I just don't see how we can make it work
So,
without expense.
Garrett, one thing is, there's been a big misconception here. The funding for the other projects is not tied to that fence.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not. It is not an FAA regulation
That is
or
not what I
requirement.
understood.
Well, they want to push it, but it is not tied. In other words, we're not going to stop getting funding if we don't have a fence.
From what I understand, it's a safety issue, and safety comes first. And that has to go
So-
first before the other ones will get funded.
If it's safety, then the entire airport needs to be fenced off.
That's why I asked if this fence that you're talking
this was
about
just
is
the-
a high fence or just
No,
a
that's just the
hot
cattle
wire.
fence.
So, and I'm not trying to keep someone from making money on this land, but a hot wire fence with an airplane and yearlings on wheat, I've run more cattle through hot wire fences than you can imagine. It just, airplanes scare yearlings on wheat like you wouldn't believe. And you don't think that is a danger. That fence, I mean, that's gonna hurt my business. And I don't wanna keep whoever, I think, keep Beasley, you said, I don't wanna keep him from making money, but at the same time, that is a huge danger. The airport manager said one was on the grass strip, or, I don't know, you said a brown one was out there? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, you heard the correct.
So, one of those wander out onto the road in front of a $5 million jet, that's more likely to happen than someone drive out from the road. So, I don't know.
You're arguing with the guy that doesn't want a fence.
Well,
So.
I know it's coming,
Yeah.
I know it's gonna affect me financially. Whether it's an expense to make accommodations for the fence or the lack of my customers coming and seeing me. So, it's gonna affect me financially, one way or another.
Like I say, this board wants to do everything we can to help you, so it doesn't affect you a little bit, it affects you at the
Well,
very least.
I
amount.
really
So,
appreciate that.
I mean, we're all on the same page there, we're on your side. We're not trying to restrict you or your business in any way.
I don't want you to, I'm here standing up for myself.
I understand.
I appreciate you coming and voicing all this. I mean,
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that, maybe we need to inquire with Toby about this, but normally, when there's got the FAA, when we do something like this, there's like an economic impact study done.
Well, I've talked to Grace and I'm like, is there a grant that we can write? If you need to bulldoze my hangar, we can write a grant, or gift this hangar to the city for, it's 60 by 100. There's plenty of room in it for storage. And, we could build something down here, out of the way, no one to see it, not smell it, not right by the road. I get it.
I understand.
So, I'm open to all ideas.
Right.
I'm willing to work, I just don't want it to affect me
Well, that's
any
half the
more
battle
than-
right there.
any more than it has to.
And I don't want it to affect you at all.
Well, it's going to.
Well-
And it is. Change always is going to affect you one way or another.
But we have a person pushing it who doesn't understand.
I don't know who that is. but-
Parties.
Well, Grayson is, I've worked with him getting Met Towers labeled, 7 bands of multiple. I've worked with him. And even his former boss, I worked with him.
Bird.
Yes. And,
and the money we're getting now for the fence and whatever, that's state money. That's different from the FAA money. The state money may go away in a couple of years. The way Stitz is cutting back on spending and deleting agencies and things, the FAA or the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission funding may go away.
well,
So,
I've had
but
FAA up twice this year, just in the last 3 months, inspecting me that I haven't seen in 6 years.
yeah,
So I don't know if they're reducing or they're trying to prove their worth, but
Yes.
they're
but
trying to put
anyways,
it
it's one of those deals where I don't want to lose my business. I don't want to lose any revenue.
Yeah, we don't want to see you lose your business. You provide
Well, it's
a great service for the
Basically,
local farmers.
There's a Flight for Life helicopter over here, and I'm the same thing for farmers and ranchers.
Right.
They don't put anything in their budget for an airplane until they have to have it yesterday. And when they need it, they have to have it. And that's what we've done for forever. So, and without that service, these guys,
What size is that building?
it's a 60 by 100, and then there's the lean-to with the load room in the office. and it's a full 60-foot door.
You know what I'm thinking?
Okay.
That might be spooky. Well, I mean, we technically can't discuss any of that. But Garrett, I'll guarantee you that it's not the last time that it's going to be discussed.
Well, I'll be here, so, and I'm open to any option, idea. I drove around the airport all day today. I don't know what to do.
I appreciate your openness and I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to work. I just, with whatever option there is. I mean, I'm not trying to get something for nothing, but I just want to be able to continue doing what I'm doing.
Well,
Yeah.
the instruction we gave our engineer after last meeting was to put plans in place for hangar construction, and that was it. So everything else is fluid.
Right, everything, I mean, nothing else has been decided at all, nothing.
Well,
And I'm not one, I would try to sneak something by you, I wouldn't do that.
I appreciate that. I just, like I said, that you know the blockers and
Yeah.
Strickland and the Roths.
Colson.
Yeah, and I mean it's been there a long time,
It is.
and that is the ideal site for us because it's a 1,000-foot turnoff straight from the runway straight to our hangar. We take off to the south, no noise abatement whatsoever. You know, if we were on the south side, we'd have to taxi all the way back down, take off to the south to keep away from town. So that is like the best spot we could ever be in. 1,000-foot turn off all the way to the hangar. Because we can land from the north, pull off at 1,000 foot, and load, pull out, and go. And we burn 90 gallons an hour in that airplane, fuel. So time is of essence. And if you're taxiing, if we're taxiing back and forth, we may lose 2 loads a day. It's just,
I'll
it's
tell you right there,
economics.
he's been your biggest cheerleader every time the FAA wants to rip that.
There's a taxiway right there, they're wanting to rip out, so it's not a straight shot.
That is like,
That's like the stupidest thing, and I cannot believe they want to.
it is the best thing ever.
Yeah, they
That's
want to
why-
take it out, and then you would have to make a jog
Yeah.
and drive through the parking area to get to the runway.
Yep. And we're taxiing by airplanes
Yeah.
and everything else. It's
Doesn't
just
make
straight
sense.
in, straight out.
Yep.
And you guys, I don't know if you've seen it, but I know you have, and you have, and you have. We may have 5 airplanes coming in and out, just one after another. And that's just, it's asking for trouble. Jogging, you know, it's, I don't know. So it's just easier if it just flows. So that is the best spot on the airport. It just is. That's why they put it there. I didn't put it there. That is the best spot. But if I have to move, I will. You know, I just don't know how we can make that work with a fence. You know, that 4-lane road with semis, fuel tankers, you know, trying to pull in. They may pull through here and come around, I guess, or chemical trucks, but we have all kinds of farmers coming in and everything else. I don't know. It just, and then we're debating on pushing back a hot wire fence for yearlings not getting on the runway. I mean, I'm like, no, I don't know. It just blows my mind. Yeah. Sorry, I'll let her go.
Okay.
Just work with me and keep me informed. That's all I ask.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay. And we're through with the remarks by citizens. We don't have any others. So we'll go back up to item 6, discussion and action to enter into executive session pursuant
We
to,
don't need to do it, no? We don't need to do it.
do we don't need to discuss airport managers?
Let's just do
It's
it.
his evaluation, it's discussing his evaluation. There's no evaluation.
We can still evaluate.
I'm not gonna waste my time evaluating somebody that's resigned.
We can evaluate his past performance and what needs to change in the performance of the airport manager. I don't know, it's up to you guys.
I've got some information presented in the executive session, but we can go either way.
It's the duties of the position that we're evaluating, which is going to, it's not going to be a waste of time, in my opinion, because it's going to, whether it's that position responsibilities, we're going to have the same level of accountability and expectation moving forward. I don't see it as a waste of time.
See, there's any reason for an evaluation of someone that's gone, other than putting that into the criteria we want to hire.
We'll need a,
That's what I'll be honest with you, that's what I'd really do is bring up a position description at possibly the next meeting and discuss that.
And whatever he was short on, I would make sure you.
do you want to table it to the next meeting and reword it? I need a motion.
It won't be,
You know what, we're going to, I don't care, we can discuss it.
I guess the biggest thing to ask at this point is, do we have the items that we want to make sure we get on the next job description mapped out?
Or we can do all the remarks and stuff with the item 9, or remarks and inquiries.
So on this is actually, Steve, as part of his resignation, will you be writing a final report on him?
His annual's not due.
Do what?
His annual won't be due till, I think, April.
So is his next position within the city of Alva?
No.
Okay.
No.
But
I'm hesitating just because I don't know if it, the executive session is going to,
well, I'm not a voting member, there's a couple things that need to be talked about.
I make a motion, we table it for the next meeting.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Just out of selfishness, I won't be here for the next meeting, and I'd like to say some things now.
Good.
I
Well, that's
mean,
good to know.
You didn't know that.
No.
I make a motion in executive session.
You already have a motion now. Oh, I thought you might
Withdraw.
Withdraw the motion.
Went over top of it.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Take the roll, please.
Parker,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Loxton,
Yes.